Chairman Sampson. Recording has begun.
Commissioner Hugnall, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next order of business is approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Okay, any concerns? Any questions anybody have? All right, by show of hands, all that approve? Anyone who disagrees? Raise your hand. Minutes are approved. All right. Next item on the agenda is the matter discussions. We'll start with Director Harrington.
All right. Good evening, Commission members. For the record, Janine Harrington, Director of Planning for the town. So this item before you is the preliminary plat extension review for the Stagecoach Crossing subdivision. As a refresher, this parcel is zoned R5. It's currently vacant. The proposed use is residential. It is 266.97 acres plus or minus. To the north is Charles County Rural Conservation and the Steeplechase subdivision, all residential. To the south is Rural Conservation residential. To the east is Rural Conservation and CC, which is escaping me at the moment from the county zoning code for residential. To the west is Rural Conservation residential as well. So the applicant had submitted an application to extend the preliminary plat for the Stagecoach subdivision in accordance with the town code. That was previously approved on June 7th of 2022 and would have been set to expire on June 7th of 2023. I'm sorry. I didn't update those dates, apparently. So it was approved on June 7th of 2023, and it would be set to expire in June of 2024. There are no proposed changes to the development as outlined in the staff report. I won't go through the entire background discussion since we've been through that several times, but I will go over the proposed development for a refresher. So the Stagecoach Crossing subdivision has a total of 636 dwelling units. They have 6 phases of development proposed. As shown in the table in the staff report, there are 322 single-family dwellings, 254 townhomes, and 60 duplex units. They are proposing recreational and open space amenities. The forest conservation requirements have been met on site fully, so they will be conserving all of the forest on site. There will be 2 main access points, one on Stagecoach Road and the secondary access through the existing Steeplechase neighborhood to the north. So staff has gone through all of the requirements of the town code, including stormwater management, forest conservation, streets and sidewalks, all of the preliminary plat requirements, and everything is still in compliance with the town code. As far as the preliminary plat approval is concerned, it does not allocate school seats or water or sewer, but it does put them in the queue and reserves those for future use once the final plat comes forward. So with that, staff is recommending extension of the preliminary plat for 1 year in accordance with the town code. The Planning Commission can extend that further if they'd like, but it's standard in the code for 1 year. And with that, I'll conclude my presentation, and the applicant is here should you have any questions of them.
Okay, I'll go around real quick for questions. Councilwoman Brown Ward.
Thank you, Commissioner Sampson. Just a question. So nothing is changing in the preliminary plat presentation, and you said that we can approve it for more than 1 year. Would it be the desire of the applicant to go longer than a year? Because I heard from another developer that 1 year is not typically good. It's, you have to come back, and we were looking at changing it. So is that something the applicant will be interested in?
I will defer to Ed Carroll. If you can touch the mic till it turns green. You just gently, there you go.
Oh, we're hot. Okay. Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. Ed Carroll with Soltesz, engineering representing Stagecoach La Plata LLC. To answer your question, yes, we would be very encouraged to see extensions last a longer time frame, particularly on larger projects. We're talking about projects of 600 units, 600 plus units. These are long-term projects that are going to take 8 years to complete, 9 years to complete. So if there was the ability for maybe a change in code for longer periods, maybe and I'll leave it with you, Janine, but functions of how many lots you're doing or something. I think it would be great. Not that I don't mind coming back every year in front of all you nice folks.
Yeah, as I think if the code hasn't changed and the development hasn't changed, it's just repetitive as far as the process is concerned. We do have a draft for the subdivision code that also ties into our adequate public facilities ordinance that we're currently drafting. And we are taking a look at other jurisdictions and the timeframes that preliminary plats are approved, final plats are approved. So we will be looking at that and putting that together for the Planning Commission and the council to review. I don't have a specific time frame in mind. I think the most the Planning Commission has done in the past was 2 years, but I will leave it to the discretion of the commission.
Commissioner Hall?
Second.
Commissioner Banks?
Thank you, Chairman. Just a couple of questions, and this is also to piggyback off of the extension questions. Just out of curiosity, why are you requesting the extension?
We're requesting the extension to complete the design and the permitting process to get through the project itself.
And then just to follow up on the 6 phases, and again, this has no immediate bearing on whether we approve or not, but just again, curiosity for me. How have you, is that, when we say 6 phases, and I know this is not an absolute science, so I acknowledge that up front. When we're saying 6 phases, are we talking 6 years? I think I heard you say 9 years. It could go as high as 9 years. It just all depends on the construction and all of.
Yeah, it's also a function of the market too, but realistically, I mean, to get the project going, to get the initial first phase going, we're probably looking at 18 months of design and permitting. Then you've got home construction, which would start for the first phase. Then at the same time, concurrently, you're starting the next phase, and it just kind of piggybacks on top of each other. Realistically, I think you're probably looking at I would say 9 years to complete for build out.
Full 6-3-3-6. Yeah. Okay. That's it for me. Thank you.
Commissioner Hudnall?
No comment at this time.
Okay, I just have one quick question. And this is an indirect question, and I know it was mentioned in the staff report just briefly, and I know it has no bearing right now, but just out of curiosity, and this is more along the lines of safety, but the Plat, the way it's designed now, has there been any study on how how it would impact safety and traffic connecting to Steeplechase? Or is that something you're looking at later down the line?
Is that to me or to the planning director? Okay. Yes, a traffic study was done for this project in 2022 that was submitted to the town of La Plata. I do want to make one point of correction on Ms. Harrington's presentation. There's actually 3 access points on Stagecoach Crossing. There's one connection to Steeplechase, where there's actually 2 access points on Old Stagecoach Road.
Yeah.
So in that traffic study, yes, the study analyzed internally and analyzed intersections off-site, including US 301 at Old Stagecoach Road. And from that study and those reviews, there were conditions of approval that were placed on the preliminary plat themselves, as far as sequencing of repeat updates on traffic studies as the project progresses. So it's not just one traffic study for all 600 units. we're coming back with multiple traffic studies as the project goes forward.
Okay. And the last traffic study was completed when?
2022.
2022. Okay. All right. Any follow-up questions from anyone?
I do have a follow-up. I heard what you said about the continuous review
Mhm.
with respect to the traffic. Does that factor in also the development, the continuous development within Steeplechase?
Yes, well, so I think to answer your question, when the traffic studies are updated and there's conditions of approval on the preliminary plat for that, it has to account for background traffic. So as Steeplechase develops, or just as growth occurs in Charles County, new counts, traffic counts are being updated constantly, and that study will be updated each time. Yes.
Thank you for confirming.
Any other follow-up questions? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the extension?
Commissioner Sampson? I move that we approve the preliminary plat extension for 2 years as presented.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. I'll call the roll here. Commissioner High, yea or nay?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Brown Ward,
Yay.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudson,
Yay.
and I'm also a yay. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. I will go back to Director Harrington for the next item on the agenda for Pinegrove.
Okay. So for the Pinegrove development, we are looking at Neighborhood I, Phase 2 for a final plat approval. So this was submitted to approve the final plat for Phase 2, which will create 69 lots. The property is approximately 19, give or take, acres, zone TDX, and the proposed use is residential. I did include the phasing plan within the staff report just as a clarifier. We did already approve Phase 1, Plat 1. Now we're looking at Phase 2, and then there will be a Phase 3 with 16 lots in the future. So I did update the overall master site development plan numbers since we noted last time that my staff report was outdated as far as the individual neighborhoods and the number of dwellings and school seats. So I did provide an update there, so you can see that parcel neighborhood K had their final plat approved and their construction is complete. Parcel O, final plat was recorded, construction complete. Parcel A was phased out into 3 phases. Those final plats were approved. Pinegrove, Lot 1, their major site plan was approved and is under construction. And then for Neighborhood I, we will have the Phase 1 was approved, the final plat, and now we're looking at the Phase 2 pending. And then you can see the statuses of the remainder. So right now, they're proposing a total of 2,790 residential dwelling units. Their maximum is 3,170. And those numbers do change as they move forward with some of the individual neighborhoods, give or take, depending on how the market goes. So, but their cap is 3,170 overall. So for Neighborhood I, the total number of dwelling units within the Phase I was 225 single-family dwelling units. We did approve the 135 with Phase 1, and now we're looking at the 69 units for Phase 2. This plat will include 6.7982 acres of open space. They are meeting all of the requirements of the town code for a final plat. The preliminary plat was approved on September 5th of 2023. Their final forest conservation plan was approved on February 12th, 2024, and those easements are reflected on the final plat. Per the school seat allocation policy, the 69 units would require 32 school seats. We do have those 32 school seats to assign to this project. And then water and sewer was the big one for this. So the town had 17,348 gallons per day of water remaining. and 132,348 gallons per day of sewer. This project would require 17,250 gallons per day for both water and sewer, given the standard gallons per day calculation used for 250 gallons per unit. And that leaves the remaining capacity at 98 gallons per day. Therefore, we have 0 allocations remaining after these 69 lots. So there's no reason for these 69 lots to not be approved, but I won't be able to approve anything else after this until we get further allocations. With that, staff is recommending approval of Pinegrove Neighborhood I Phase 2 final plat in accordance with the town code. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have of me, and we do have the applicant here, should you have any questions of them.
Okay, Commissioner Hudnall, you have any questions? Commissioner Banks?
I do. Can you help me again with the math? You said there's a total of 225 and I count 220.
It's 220, sorry. So yeah, we did the 135 with phase 1, 69, and then there'll be 16 units remaining in this phase.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Brown Ward? Commissioner Reynolds? I have no questions. One last time, any questions? All right, is there a motion to approve?
Commissioner Sampson, I move to approve the Pinegrove Neighborhood I Phase 2 final plat as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Okay. I'll call the roll. Commissioner High, yeah, your name? Yes. Councilwoman Brown Ward,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Husnell,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. That is approved. Next item on the agenda is matters of information.
So I really won't have too much to update you on right now. So that did use up the remainder of our water allocations. Now we are going to be working with upper management and the town attorney to kind of figure out what our next steps are. And we'll be hopefully formulating that soon, so that way we can get a notice out to people that currently have projects in the process as far as how the queuing is going to work, how we're going to be moving forward with this. So I don't have an exact answer tonight, but we will have something soon to be able to put out to the public and for everyone to know what we're going to be doing. In the meantime, I would like to focus on our code revisions, getting our public facility updated, our background on these things. Specific questions for me.
Okay. Any questions for Director Harrington?
I do, just based on your experience, what's your sense in terms of timing as it relates to the water allocation?
So I've never been through this before.
Ah.
But there's a lot of moving pieces that you need to understand, that not only is there, we need to do an agreement between the county for the water allocations. We have to build the water line to connect to St. Charles to be able to get the water to go to our storage tank at Tillman Lake. There's a lot that's involved in the back end. We're going to be working on a study, a utility rate study and a gallons per day study with, the council is working on. So it should be, a fairly smooth process moving forward. I just don't know exactly how much time it's going to take to do.
Any other questions? Okay, council updates, Councilwoman?
I don't have any council updates, but I do want, us to extend a thank you to Director Harrington. This is a challenging process and she's never gone through it before, but she's managed it well. You've done an excellent job of maintaining, tracking, keeping us informed, and we appreciate that. I do look forward to a resolution, as all of us do, but we do thank you for the work that you do in your small team.
Thank you.
Okay. Any last minute questions, concerns? All right, I call this meeting adjourned.
You gavel us out.
Oh.
He can gavel us in, so